Good evening, everybody. Welcome families, faculty advisors, invited guests, standing NJHS members, or right now sitting as NJHS members. You can actually use both words to refer to the current members, so we'll have a little fun with that, because I will have the sitting members stand, and then I'll have the standing members sit. That'll be a good time. And especially I want to welcome our gigantic class of 2017 inductees and give them a round of applause right away. So welcome to the 5th annual Dr. Robert G. O'Donnell Middle School National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony. Before we get started with our speeches, I do want to begin the ceremony as we begin most things here at the O'Donnell Middle School with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would like to invite Mia Alley and Ella Anderson to come up to the stage. Sitting members stand and be standing members and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is right here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, girls. I know O'Donnell Middle School students were all waiting for that moment of silence that we do every morning. And now to do the National Anthem. Sitting members, could you be standing members and come up? Carmela Brown and April Richardson. And please rise for the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It was great. Thank you, girls. That was great. You may be seated. So we have a lot of clubs and activities at the O'Donnell Middle School, something like 25 or 26 extracurricular activities. This is the only one we have an induction ceremony for. The establishment of this club dates back only to 2013, and it has grown into one of the real proud clubs and shining examples of service, leadership, and scholarship in the school. The National Junior Honor Society itself was established to recognize outstanding middle-level students. More than just an academic honor roll, many people think it's just an academic honor roll, NJHS serves to honor those students who have demonstrated excellence in the areas of scholarship, service, leadership, character, and citizenship. These characteristics have been associated with membership in the organization since its beginning in 1929, and with our chapter since its beginning in 2013. Today, it's estimated that more than 1 million students participate in official Honor Society activities. There's chapters in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, many U.S. territories, and Canada. There are 5 main purposes that guide the chapters. They are to create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate a desire to render service, to promote leadership, to encourage responsible citizenship, to develop character in the students of secondary schools, And tonight's inductees, all 57 of them here this evening, have demonstrated all of those qualities. So congratulations to all of you before you even get your certificates. And I do want to say that the numbers that you see before you are impressive, but it's also important to note that the National Junior Honor Society is not open to anyone who wants to apply. Any 7th and 8th grader can apply if they have the desire to do so, but there is an academic requirement for membership. Then there is a service requirement, a desire to improve your school community and your community at large, and a willingness to do the work to do that. Not many 7th and 8th grade students are willing to do that, understandably, and it's pretty impressive that more than 90 students at the O'Donnell Middle School applied to be members this year, and 57 students here this evening are going to be inducted. That's very impressive. Sure. These guys, here's the example of what I think everything right about schools is, what everything right about education. Right here is the example. I do want to thank Ms. Whitaker and Mr. Whiting, our faculty advisors. Not only are they right next to each other on the alphabetical faculty list, Whiting first and then Whitaker, because it's the 2 T's. They do a lot of things together. They're very popular with the students. They have worked very hard to promote the National Junior Honor Society this year and to really grow it into what you see before you today. So I definitely want to thank them publicly as well. And then I would like to recognize the sitting members, our 7 members who will introduce all of our inductees this evening. Now, because the 8th graders who are now 9th graders have moved on, so here are last year's 7th graders, now 8th graders who are here. So could you guys stand up and now become standing members? I'm gonna stop making that joke, I swear. Mia Alley, Ella Anderson, Carmela Brown, Celia Mello, Riley O'Connell, April Richardson, and Benjamin Rosen, our current members. Thank you guys, and you can become sitting members again. So I think one of the coolest parts of the program is the keynote address. So the keynote speaker is not randomly drawn. We don't just pick somebody. The students pick a teacher. The students, the National Junior Honor Society students themselves, choose from the faculty a teacher who has made a valuable impression on them and shaped them as a student in one way or another. And so this year's keynote address and this year's keynote speaker selected by the students is Alicia Tilly, our grade 6 STEM teacher.
First of all, I want to thank Mr. Whiting and Ms. Whitaker for making this night possible. They put a lot of time and effort into creating the National Junior Honor Society here at the OMS with the monthly meetings and the countless hours that they've devoted to making tonight happen, and they will continue throughout the year. And thank you, Mr. Colantonio, for being our Master of Ceremonies this evening. So my name is Alicia Tilly. I am currently the 6th grade STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, and math teacher. Previously, I was on the team 6A. I was their science teacher for the past 8 years. I'm quite honored this year to be giving the keynote address to all our newest members of the NJHS. I was lucky enough to be here last year as a parent in the audience like you for my middle son, Davin Srzeski, the one in the crutches in the front row. Good job, Gimpy. And also for my niece, Brooke Belger. Both became members of the NJHS, and I had the privilege to listen to Mr. King's speech last year. As I sat in the audience last year, I was just amazed at what a great job he did, that Mr. King had done. And then I decided, how am I going to fill his shoes? He was 6'1", 6'2", big shoes, literally. So this year is even more memorable for me because my son Tag Swarzowski is being inducted, as well as my niece Kate Bulger. I also have had the privilege to have several of you within my classroom. I was quite surprised and honored when Mr. Whiting asked me to be the keynote speaker, and Mr. Whiting informed me that you actually all voted for me. Well, not all, we'll get to that part. Because when I got home that evening, I asked Tag if he was a part of the voting process, and his exact words were, "Yes, Mom." Well, I should say, "Yeah, Mom, but I didn't vote for you." My reply, "Okay, thanks, I think." And this is where I think Mr. Colantonio and I got a little bit of the same information here from the National Junior Honor Society, because I really needed to do a little research to really fully understand what the expectations of the students were taking on. So the National Junior Honor Society is the nation's premier organization established to recognize outstanding middle school level students. More than just an honor roll, the National Junior Honor Society serves to honor the students who have demonstrated excellence in the areas of scholarship, service, leadership, character, and citizenship. These characteristics have been associated with the membership since the organization since the beginning in 1929. While the O'Donnell Middle School's mission statement is to empower students to be active participants in our school community by demonstrating the values of respect. R stands for responsibility, E, effort, S for spirit, P, pride, E, excellence, C, compassion, and T, teamwork. Even though the OMS mission statement and the NJSH Foundation sounds different, but there are multiple similarities. To me, it sounds like they are looking for strong moral character. It is not always easy, especially in middle school, to do the right thing or to make the right choice. But having a strong moral character will help guide you in making those proper decisions each time. Being a good citizen, you embody all the values of respect. And the last similarity that stands out to me the most is community service. Community service is volunteer work intended to help people in a particular way. Community service can involve your place of worship, helping others that are less fortunate than you, helping at the food pantry, starting coat drives or hat and mitten drives. Community service can be right here at Stoughton Public Schools. You can help tutor other students at the OMS. And you can go back to your elementary school and help the younger students at the elementary school or your teachers, because we always love another pair of hands in the classroom. You are a peer leader, and if you're talented and gifted for the love of sports, which a lot of you are, you can volunteer to help out in those different specific sports. If you enjoy animals, you can help at an animal shelter or walk your neighbor's dog or even your own dog, which might be a step sometimes, right, to help out. You can write letters and send packages to troops overseas. The weather is going to be changing. The winter is coming at some point. We're feeling the change slightly. Someday it's going to begin to snow. And if you've ever been in my classroom, you know how much I love the cold and the snow, or when it actually snows in the classroom, because that's great earth science that happens. You can shovel the snow for the elderly neighbors, or you can play with the younger children in the neighborhood and get them outside. You are old enough to make a difference. You are roughly between the ages of 12 and 14. It's time for you to start pitching in and to do your part. You can make a difference, and it's time for you to do your part. Soon you will have the privilege of a brand new Stoughton High School. The community of Stoughton has chosen to invest in you, and now it is time for you to do your part and give back to the community. With using OMS Respect and the strong community service volunteerism and contribute back to the community here at OMS and to the town of Stoughton, the Stoughton community will be here to support and embrace you. Lastly, I would like to extend my personal congratulations to all the inductees on their academic and personal accomplishments that allowed them to be inducted into the National Junior Honor Society this evening. It is quite an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tilly. Well done, and from the heart. And just an example of that service, I just wanted to mention, on October 11th, the West Elementary School had a family flag night, a community event for families and students at the West. 27 National Junior Honor Society students helped out with the event and volunteered with the West families and children. And so one of the coordinators of the family flag night had this quote about our students. Last night we had a lot of student volunteers from the middle school, which was absolutely awesome. There could have been 25 to 30 volunteers. The students were excellent. I hope you can convey to them, along with my gratitude when you meet them on Monday afternoon. They were helpful to families and were also well behaved. I hope their enthusiasm for community service continues. They were terrific role models for the younger students. Thanks for all of their help and your help. The night was a huge success thanks to the OMS NJHS volunteers. So great job, guys. Congratulations again. And without further ado, to introduce our new members, our sitting members are going to take the stage and begin what's going to be a long but exciting process of introducing all of our inductees. Come on up, guys.
Ashvi is in 8th grade and loves to swim. She plays stoic basketball and is in the Science and Robotics Club. Miss Doherty has inspired her to always try her hardest. Abby Durand is in 8th grade on Team 8A. She enjoys many things after school and is almost always busy. Shameless shout out to all the other 8th graders who are doing more or less of the same thing. One teacher that inspired her is Miss McElligott. In 6th grade, Abby suffered from some strange injuries, and Miss McElligott really helped her pull through, thanks to all who got her here. Anish Sinha is a student in 8th grade at the O'Donnell Middle School. His favorite activities include tennis, math, geography, and swim team. The previous 5th grade teacher at the Gibbons Elementary School, Mr. Cancelleri, has greatly inspired and influenced Anish's educational path. Annalisa Markman is in 8th grade. She does all-star cheerleading and loves to read. The teacher who helped her guide her on her educational path was Mr. Whiting. Ariana Barbosa is in grade 7 and her hobbies include gymnastics, swimming, and piano. Her 5th grade teacher, Mr. Cancelleri, was very inspirational to her because he was a good role model and helped her to see that she can do whatever she sets her mind to. He showed students that they can succeed with hard work and determination, too. Ariana Peter is in 7th grade. She does gymnastics, and a teacher who helped her and inspired her was Mrs. Blanchard at the Gibbons Elementary School. Prater Macdonald is a 7th grader who enjoys sitting on his computer and playing video games. One of his favorite teachers was his 5th grade teacher, Mr. Pyers, who helped him get through a really difficult point in his life and encouraged him to stay positive throughout it. Jayden Peter is in grade 7. His favorite hobby is baseball. One teacher who inspired his educational path was Mr. Cancelleri. Cadence Wasoka is in 7th grade. She participates in altar serving at church, CCD, cheerleading, open gym, and plans to attend art club when cheerleading season ends. Cadence also skis and will learn to snowboard this winter. Miss Daly helped Cadence learn and remember the materials that were being taught by teaching skills that made information more attainable.
This is Camille Bonfim from the 7th grade. Mr. C, her 5th grade teacher from the Gibbons, has inspired her to accomplish great things and helped her to get here. Outside of school, she is a dancer at Starline Academy, a swimmer, and she also likes to bake. Camryn Whitman is a 7th grader. She enjoys playing sports in her free time. She currently plays AAU softball for South Shore Chaos. Camryn is a very hardworking student who feels that one teacher who pushed her to excellence was Mr. Whiting. He always supported her in her decisions. He pushed her to do her best. Camryn is very excited to be inducted into NJHS this year. Carly Sanda is in the 7th grade. Some hobbies she has are cheerleading, softball, basketball, swimming, and hanging with her friends. A teacher that inspires her every day is Mrs. Tilly. Chloe Picanco is in 7th grade on Team 7A. Her 3rd grade teacher, Miss Mahoney, who is also Mrs. Wallace, got her to where she is today. She pushed Chloe to reach for the stars. Without her motivation, Chloe believes she wouldn't be standing here right now. Claire Morgan is in 7th grade and she enjoys crafts, football, and basketball. One teacher who inspired her is Mrs. O'Connell. Daniel Pistana is in 8th grade. He likes playing sports and video games. The teachers who inspired him to get good grades and excel in school are Mrs. Murphy, his 4th grade teacher, and Mr. Pruden, his 8th grade math teacher. Drew Cesario is in 7th grade and enjoys sports. He is a black belt in karate and also part of a team of students that helps the younger students learn discipline and moves. Mr. Monty, his 4th grade teacher at the Gibbons, inspired him to realize education could also be fun.
Elaine Mccarty is in 7th grade. Her favorite hobbies are writing, crocheting, and running. The teacher that inspired her the most was her 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Monahan. Alijah Hochberg is a 7th grade student whose hobbies include hanging with friends, anything related to music, and video games. An adult that inspired him is his mom. His mom has also done so much for him and works so hard to accomplish many things. Ella Holden is a 7th grader here at OMS. She loves to play on Stoughton's girls' travel basketball team and draws in her free time. A student that inspired her is Mrs. Pearies from the South Elementary School. She always pushed her to do her best and never gave up on her. Emma Katzen is in the 7th grade team 7C. Some of her hobbies are reading, drawing, and painting. She chose to honor her 5th grade teacher, Miss Carroll, because she inspired Emma to work hard and help others. Emma Tremblay is in the 7th grade and is 13 years old. She plays soccer and loves music. A teacher that inspired her was Mrs. O'Connell. She always would help Emma get better at drawing and would give her good feedback. Eve Sade is in 8th grade. She really likes to read and write. A teacher who helped her was Miss Crowley. Eve was struggling with math last year, and despite being a science teacher, Mrs. Crowley helped her after school to bring her grade up. Grace Malley is in 7th grade. She likes to draw, make people laugh, cook, dance, and learning. A teacher who has inspired her to help guide her on her educational path was her 4th grade teacher from the South School, Mrs. Doherty. Mrs. Doherty has inspired her to love learning and continue to grow her into becoming more knowledgeable. She is a big source of energy and is very invigorating. Mrs. Doherty's love of learning has encouraged many students to go beyond the realm of their expectations.
Haley DeFresney is a 7th grader who loves basketball, softball, and dance. She also enjoys drawing, painting, and traveling. Haley is very excited to join National Junior Honor Society and can't wait to see what is helped for the future.
Isabelle Yakabuchi is a 7th grade student at the O'Donnell Middle School. Some of her interests include softball, painting, drawing, and other various art activities. She feels as though her 6th grade science teacher, Mrs. Mascarelli, consistently helped Isabella reach her full potential. Isabelle Rodriguez is 13 years old and in 7th grade. She plays soccer year-round and loves her chickens. One student that helped and inspired her is Mr. Whiting. He has pushed her to do her best and has enlightened her middle school years. Jackie Enochian is in 8th grade. Her hobbies are listening to music, dancing, and musical theater. A teacher that inspired her on her educational path is Miss Whitaker because she is nice and helpful. James Mccarthy is in 7th grade and is 12 years old. He plays sports all year round, and his biggest break between them is 2 weeks, so he's naturally outside. In his spare time, he likes to hang out with his friends. The teacher that inspired him was his grandma, who works at a high school and always told him to push himself. Jayden Coleman is in 7th grade. Her hobby is dancing. A teacher that has inspired her on her educational path is Miss Tilly. Jessica Queenie is in 7th grade. Some of her hobbies are cheerleading, softball, and swimming. A teacher that has inspired and helped her was Miss Tilly. John Victor Morera is 12 since June 17th and on Team 7B. His hobbies include playing games, reading books, watching YouTube, and playing soccer. The teacher that inspired and helped his educational career was Mrs. Leiden because she was strict, and that strictness helped him focus.
Jayden Coleman is in the 7th grade. When not at school, she is usually hanging out with her twin sister and 2 little sisters. A teacher that has inspired her is Miss Driscoll because she has always given the classes helpful real-life advice and is always willing to help anyone. She is also very easy to talk to and so understanding. Joseph Francis Rush is in 7th grade. He plays hockey for the middle school team and enjoys playing video games. The teacher that has inspired him was Miss Tilly. She helped him understand the science concepts when he was confused. Juliana Craig is in 8th grade and she loves to play softball and play her clarinet and marching band. A teacher that inspired her was Miss Leiden because she always pushed her to do her best and to study hard. Juliana Rivera is a 7th grade student here at the OMS. Some of her hobbies include field hockey, peer leadership, and helping out other people. She also enjoys art and math. A teacher Juliana looks up to and inspires her is her 6th grade social studies teacher, Miss Daly, because she has always liked social studies and found that Miss Daly made it fun to learn about history. This is Kate Boulder, and she is in 8th grade. Outside of school, she enjoys playing basketball and softball, hanging out with her friends, and spending time with her family. A teacher that helped her on her educational path is Miss Tilly. Catherine Jor-El is in 7th grade. She plays softball and basketball. A teacher that has inspired her is Miss Tilly. Katie Tang is on Team 8C. She has been playing piano for about 8 years, and she likes to swim. She also takes yoga classes sometimes. Miss Crowley encouraged her and introduced her to NJHS.
This is Lindsay Turner. She loves to do gymnastics and read. One teacher that inspired her is her 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Doherty. Logan is in 7th grade and he loves the outdoors and sports. He currently plays soccer for SYSL, likes basketball, and he loves wildlife and doing activities outside.
The teacher that inspired Logan to be the best student he can be and helped on his educational path to success was Miss Staley. Mariposa Ribbon is in 7th grade. Her favorite activities are horseback riding and dance, especially like tap dancing. One teacher that inspired her was Miss Carroll from the Gibbons Elementary School. Miss Carroll would always take her through everything when she needed help with something or didn't understand something. She's a wonderful teacher and mentor. Matthew Toledo is in the 7th grade. One hobby of his is different online activities with friends. One teacher that inspired him is Miss McGilligot, who helped him in keeping calm and trying his best to deal with issues in times of need. Michael Giroux is in 7th grade. He plays soccer for Stoughton and he takes piano lessons. One teacher that has helped him is Miss Tilly. Sabrina Rodriguez is in 7th grade. She enjoys playing soccer year-round. A teacher that has helped guide her is Mr. Whiting. He has not only made middle school fun, but has helped her reach her goal of being a good student and successful student. Samantha Tran is an 8th grader. Some activities she enjoys are playing soccer, playing the tenor saxophone, and piano and sleeping, and being in marching band. A teacher that inspired her is Miss Dorgan. She's been so supportive and positive towards her throughout the time she's known her. Cheyenne Swain Price is in 7th grade. She likes basketball and plays on 3 different teams. She also enjoys coding and creating things. The teacher that influenced her most was Miss Staley because she makes learning fun.
Samara Macpherson is in 7th grade. A hobby that she participates in is power tumbling. A few teachers who inspire her are Miss Lewis and Miss O'Connell. Stephanie Costera is in the 7th grade. Her hobbies include cheer and hanging out with her friends. A teacher who has helped her guide her education path is Miss Angelos. This is Sina Seth. Sina is a very hardworking 8th grade student. Sina loves to dance, hang out with her friends, and spend time with her family. She also plays in field hockey. Sina has volunteered in her community and helped out in many ways. One of the many teachers that have inspired Sina and guided her on the educational path is Mr. Whiting. Mr. Whiting has taught Sina a lot, from academics to role modeling skills. Sina has always looked up to Mr. Whiting for his kindness, intelligence, and overall genuine personality. He has truly helped her become the student that she is today. Tags Warzeski is in 7th grade. He enjoys playing many sports such as football, baseball, and basketball. A teacher that inspired him on his educational path was Miss McGilligot, because she was always willing to help and was extremely kind to him and his classmates. Thomas Laz is a boy on 7B who loves to play sports like football and baseball. One person that helped him throughout his life was his mother. His mother was the person who instilled the idea to work hard on everything in him. Veronica Shockley is in 7th grade. She likes to dance a lot. The teacher that inspired her was Miss Russell, her 1st grade teacher. Victoria Rojas is in 7th grade. She enjoys swimming, art, and reading. Victoria was inspired by her preschool teacher, Miss Suick, where her education began. Vince Nguyen is a 7th grade student who likes to listen and play music. A teacher who inspired him was Miss Daly because she made social studies fun. Yasmin Sousa is an 8th grader on 8B. Yasmin has been playing the saxophone since 4th grade. She loves science and making up new experiments. Yasmin also enjoys playing field hockey with her friends.
The teacher who inspires Yasmin is the one and only Miss Whitaker. She taught Yasmin to persevere and do her best. Miss Whitaker always cheered her up with her beautiful smile. With her amazing teaching skills, she has helped Yasmin become a better writer.
All right, so congratulations, new inductees. You're in. So there were two things that came to my mind as that huge group was introduced. The first one was just a thank you to the families here, because these are wonderful, wonderful children, and we just thank you for giving them to us for 6 hours a day. So thank you very much. Great kids. And the second thing I thought of was I should probably look into whether or not Whitaker and Whiting are shaping the student comments at all. They seemed a little bit gratuitous. I don't know. I might have to look into that. So great job. Now, this is the part where it's really just a reception. And our typical induction ceremony, which is lovely, is much smaller, but I broke the cookie bank. I don't know how much we spent on cookies, but we tripled the cookie budget for this year. But we do have cookies and some coffee and some waters back there. We are going to do a photo. So inductees, whether you like it or not, you have to be in this huge group photo. We have to stage it a little bit. So you guys sit tight while we stage it. Family members, feel free to watch us stage it. You can do that. It'll be interesting. Or you can go and get some refreshments while we do that. And then everyone can mingle for photos and celebratory good wishes. Thank you very much, everybody.